I'm now excited to introduce our 2023 Younger Readers winner, Angela Joy, the author of Choosing Brave, How Mamie Till-Mobley and Emmett Till Sparked the Civil Rights Movement. Angela was born and raised in Minneapolis and now resides in Southern California. Smart move. Two of her favorite books as a kid were Where the Red Fern Grows and Where the Sidewalk Ends. Music was Angela's first love, and her first career was in music, traveling the world as a backup vocalist. In Choosing Brave, Angela wanted to focus on Emmett Till's mother, Mamie, to shine light on the women in the civil rights movement. She told the Horn book, "We've left a lot of women behind in the story of the civil rights movement. That's a part of history I want every child to know. It wasn't just the men who led it, it was regular people, regular women who stood up for something and spoke out and spoke their truth." Let's welcome Angela to the podium.
Okay, sorry.
Wait, we
Where
get
are
the
they?
picture first, and then Angela speaks, right? Okay.
Yeah. I'm a little bit out of body. Jacqueline Woodson just said my name. Yo. I think I've been so wrapped up in preparing my speech, I forgot about the emotional impact of this award. Seven or 8 years ago, I was feeling like a chocolate chip in a sea of marshmallows at a writers' conference in LA, when two authors stepped to the podium and started to talk about a new organization whose aim it was to inspire writers of color to write their stories so that we could all come together and bring greater diversity to the bookshelves of children. New to the craft, shy, pretty insecure, I heard that message as a personal call to action. And it was a call that I intended to answer. So it is really a full circle moment for me to be here in the presence of those authors who founded the We Need Diverse Books organization. Without them, there would not be a me. So specifically Meg Medina, who I didn't realize was gonna be here, is freaking me out, who didn't know me from Adam but sat down and encouraged me. Arthur Levine as well, who I can't look in the eyeballs, who read a manuscript and just said it was good. Linda Sue Park, who is not here, who has taught me through workshops and taught me with her writing to be a better, beautiful, genuine person. I thank her. I thank all of the team, all of the family at We Need Diverse Books for all that you do and all that you are. Also, I'd like to thank my co-conspirator, Janelle Washington, whose work still takes my breath away. I'd like to thank our third musketeer, our editor, Connie Shu, who has woven our ideas so beautifully together. I'd like to thank the entire Macmillan Roaring Book Press team for their support, their belief in this story that I wasn't sure was going to be told. Of course, I have to thank my agent, Jamie Weiss-Chilton, who believes in me when I do not. My brother, who has been my hype man since infancy, throwing me into situations I didn't want to be in for my own good. My husband, Leon, my mother, Carol, my children, Landon and Olivia, for their sacrifice in allowing me the time away to do this thing. And of course, my sincere gratitude to the judging committee. Thank you for honoring our work and for sharing the love of Mamie's story with the world. In 2017, I started telling people that I was writing Choosing Brave. and I got some side eye. I remember my uncle's reaction in particular. It took him a moment to process. He was like, well, now, wait a minute. So, a picture book about Emmett Till's mother? He was skeptical, but he wasn't the only one. Those who know the story of Mamie Till-Mobley probably would not imagine her story as a picture book. Wouldn't imagine it in picture book form. There's a healthy slice of America that wouldn't like to see her story at all. It would be so much more convenient to let sleeping dogs lie, to just focus on the here and the now. That was yesterday. The problem is that the hatred that killed Emmett Till is still with us. Mothers are still demanding justice for slain sons and slain daughters. Juries are still proclaiming not guilty in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Innocent lives are still being lost with bubblegum and Skittles in pockets. With 24-hour news, camera phones, and the internet, our youth see this. We can't protect them from it. They hear it, and they feel it. It is up to us as adults to help these young people process the trauma. I'm not an expert. I'm just a mom. But from what I know, one of the best ways to deal with trauma is with a book. So from the start, we knew that choosing brave could be a tool for conversation. And we wanted those conversations to take place both in classrooms and in bedrooms. But to do that, we had to achieve a particular balance. We wanted to be illustrative, but not scary. We wanted the book to be age appropriate, but honest, to be factual and yet inspirational. It was a challenge, especially in the beginning, but once we landed on the theme of brave, everything came together pretty quickly. After all, I mean, as a country, we admire bravery. We value bravery. All of our superheroes have the foundation of bravery and who they are. We are living in the land of the, sorry. Not there yet. But we'll get there. So we knew this was a theme that the kids could latch onto. I didn't know how much I would need that theme in the process. We were in the midst of editing Choosing Brave when George Floyd was murdered. My hometown is Minneapolis, and the place he was murdered was not far from the place I attended high school. So it was devastating for me. It was devastating for all of us, but for me, Minneapolis was my safe space. So to see it ravaged with this hatred and to see the death and destruction. My nieces were on the freeway marching when the semi-truck accelerated through the crowd. It was horrifying. I could not believe what I was seeing. And so I was down for the count. There were days that I did not want to get up. But my therapist, my editor, Connie Shue, would say, you know, Angela, we just have to get up and keep trying. We have to keep pushing. We have to be like Mamie and choose brave. We have to dare to believe that we can make it better. She was right. Today, I still invoke the name of Mamie Till-Mobley on a regular basis. For lessons unlearned and hatred still living, I call her name. For the strength to sow love in spite of my pain, I pray her name. For sons and daughters who suffer still, I cry her name. For justice, for peace, for Emmett. Mamie's life inspires me to stand a little taller, to hold on a little longer, to speak up a little louder. It is my heart's desire that choosing brave will do the same for all of you. I once had a parent ask, what's the right age to start talking to kids about race and racism? The question took me aback because, black and brown people don't really get a choice. So I didn't know how to answer at first. But after a moment, I said, you know what? The future leaders of tomorrow's hate groups are being taught as babes in arms. Maybe we should be just as intentional with what we teach our babies. It reminded me of a song that I used to sing as an actor back in the day. It says, you've got to be taught to hate and fear. You've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late. Before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught. As we read, thank you. As we continue to write and illustrate for the youngest audiences, as we continue to stock and read and teach literature for young people, let us do so with intention, knowing that we have the power to change the world, one child, one book at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. That was lovely. It's so deeply insightful and so beautifully rendered. Thank you. Did you write that song? Oh, wow.
Yes, I did.
You sang the heck out of it, so thank you.